To the outside world, we appeared no different than any other immigrant family trying to make it in this country. And certainly my father appeared absolutely normal. He had a great command of English from the schooling in Cuba. He was friendly, he was handsome, he was a real charming guy. But inside our house, behind closed doors, lived a much different person. I don't remember my father ever hugging or kissing my mother. My mother was forbidden to hug or kiss her sons because it might turn us into sissies, according to my father. What I do remember is him beating her, not only in rage, but with cold, methodical planning, not only with his hands and his feet, but with words and weapons too. And pregnancies, that didn't stop. Like all of us, she lived in a constant state of terror. Now, I probably don't even know half of the brutality that my father inflicted on my mother, but I can assure you that I heard and I saw plenty. As a child, I was beaten, I was tied up, I was locked in closets, I was hammered, I was burned, to name a few of the things. And this was not about a man who had a hard time controlling his temper, you see, because my dad took great care not to hit us on the face or parts of our body that were not covered up by clothing. So, what were the triggers that set my father off? Well, to be honest, I'm not really sure. To my knowledge, my father did not have a dependency to drugs or alcohol. And we were never really sure what my father's rules were or what might be the cause behind the physical, emotional, spiritual abuse that he inflicted on us. Because you see, the rules could change from moment to moment. If my dad told us a joke and our laughter wasn't to his liking, that could set him off. When there are no rules, everyone copes in their own way. Some become paralyzed in fear, others go numb or try to stay out of the way, and then others become confrontational and full of rage. I was the latter case, putting myself in the path of my father's storm, if only to distract him from beating other members of my family. And I mention this to you not because I was trying to be a hero, but to shed some light on the devastating impact that witnessing violence has on children. In many ways, as a child who was being battered by his father with the intensity of someone hitting another adult, well, I learned to take it. But it was much harder for me to witness the violence being done against my family members, and that even included our pets, than it was for me to receive it myself. So this leads me to feel the perpetuating violence that is witnessed by children against the domestic partner. It's the equivalent of child abuse. Now, I've had survivors over the years tell me that because they weren't physically beaten, that the psychological and emotional abuse that they suffered must not be as damaging as someone who was physically harmed. But what I've learned is that the body can heal quite miraculously. Mine has. On the other hand, the battering of the psyche and the soul, that takes so much longer to repair. Now, of all the physically deviant ways that my father thought of to cause me pain, the one thing he did that hurt me more than anything happened one day when he didn't even lift a finger to me. He'd been putting me down, calling me worthless and stupid, and a lot of names I won't mention in this room. And I finally challenged my father, and I said, hey, if I'm so worthless, then what are all those trophies doing up there? And I pointed to a shelf that I'd won in athletics. And my father told me that those trophies meant nothing. And then to prove it, he pulled them all down, and he got out a sledgehammer. And he broke each and every one of those trophies in front of me. He just smashed them until they were unrecognizable. And that's what was left of my self-esteem. Smashed like those trophies. Now, the other question we hear all the time is, why doesn't a woman just leave? Why didn't my mom get herself and her kids the hell out of there? Well, I'll tell you why. Because my mother didn't speak English. And she came from a country and a culture where women stayed with their men no matter what. And you have to remember that this was over 40 years ago, where there was very little public awareness about domestic violence or any hotlines, programs, shelters my mom could have turned to. Training for law enforcement. To our knowledge, there were no local groups or county or statewide organizations. If only there was. If only there had been a center for victims.